King Charles to strip Prince Andrew of treasures from $38 million royal nest amid eviction war. King Charles is said to be taking matters into his own hands as his eviction war with Prince Andrew deepens. British royal expert Hilary Fordwich claimed to Fox News Digital that Andrew's home, Royal Lodge, is dilapidated and disrepair. King Charles is trying to run a more fiscally conservative operation by trying to move Andrew to the vacant Frogmore cottage, said Fordwich. Prince Andrew, who's desperate to stay, has always been troublesome. King Charles has finally lost patience with Prince Andrew digging his heels in, becoming a prisoner of his own pride, Fordwich claimed. King Charles is beyond frustrated with Prince Andrew. Their relationship is strained, described by friends as guarded and mainly Machiavellian. Better to keep one's friends close and one's enemies closer. Fordwich's statement came after royal biographer Robert Hardman claimed that the king was considering stripping valuable items from the lavish home due to security concerns. The royal collection, which owns quite a lot of the treasures inside there, may say, well, we can't be confident that this place is safe anymore, and they'll start taking the paintings and some of the furniture away, Hardman claimed on the Palace Confidential podcast. Hardman noted that the king, who is battling an undisclosed form of cancer, has likely accepted the reality that evicting his scandal-scarred sibling from the property won't come easy. The king is very conscious that Royal Lodge is not entirely in his gift, said Hardman. It's a Crown Estate property and the Crown Estate ultimately answers to the government. The Sunday Times reported that Andrew raised enough money to live in Royal Lodge. The estate is worth a reported $38 million. According to the outlet, the 64-year-old's funds were approved by the keeper of the Privy Purse as coming from legitimate sources. Buckingham Palace didn't immediately respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment. The outlet also reported that the prince and the king aren't on speaking terms. It's unclear whether Andrew will make an appearance at Sandringham this year to celebrate Christmas with the rest of the royal family. There is no doubt that King Charles wants Prince Andrew out of Royal Lodge, royal expert Richard Fitzwilliams told Fox News Digital. There is equally no doubt that Andrew is determined not to leave. So long as he fulfills the provisions of his lease, which requires the upkeep of the building, it isn't possible to evict him. The monarch has reportedly cut his annual allowance and removed his 10-person security team, Fitzwilliams shared. However, it has also been reported that Andrew has discovered a cheaper way to fund his security. What may now happen, however, is that the royal collection could remove some of its treasures from Royal Lodge on the pretext of inadequate security. Andrew has been living in the 31-room estate since 2004. He lives there with his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson. According to reports, he has spent over $9 million on repairs and renovations and $1 million to take it over. His annual rent is a reported $337,000. The property requires an estimated $503,000 annually for upkeep. Prince Andrew has a tight lease in place for his home, British broadcaster and photographer Helena Chard claimed to Fox News Digital. He can continue living in his home as long as he fulfills the lease. Despite King Charles cutting off Prince Andrew's financial allowance, Andrew has secured financial help. This will cover his rent, security, and upkeep of the now crumbling property, Chard claimed. As long as this is maintained, and the property is made good and kept in a good state of repair, I can't see that Prince Andrew can be chucked out of his home. King Charles doesn't have the power to do this. It is in the government's hands. There is the question of him no longer being a public servant, and is it right that he should still be allowed to live in a Crown Estate property, Chard noted. From a PR stance, this is not a great look. Things have slightly backfired at a time when there is a focus on the royal family's finances. The last thing King Charles needs is the Prince Andrew problem to amplify the mystery around the royal finances, Chard added. Sources previously told the Sunday Times the king was losing patience over his brother's living arrangements and was at his wits' end. According to the outlet, the king, 76, didn't renew the contract for the 64-year-old's private security team. The monarch has been paying for Andrew's security after the prince lost his police protection in 2022. The security team is said to cost Charles nearly $4 million annually. At the time, a spokesperson for Buckingham Palace told Fox News Digital the palace wouldn't comment on security matters. It was reported that the Duke, who is at the brink of eviction, was expected to downsize due to his ties to late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. There will always be the worry that Prince Andrew could quickly fall on financial hard times and go down the same path as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle by writing a memoir or appearing in a damaging documentary, Chard claimed. But I don't believe he will do this for the sake of his daughters. The royal family are, however, aware that, as a private individual, Prince Andrew could unknowingly pick up some unscrupulous wealthy clients, Chard claimed. This could then dig up or lead to another can of worms. Fitzwilliam said it's unlikely Andrew will be leaving the palatial pad anytime soon. Under the terms of the lease, Andrew can only leave Royal Lodge to his daughters or widow, Fitzwilliams explained. The mansion is far too large for the disgraced royal. However, he may be able to raise funds to help him with the upkeep. Fitzwilliams claimed it's possible that Andrew could get support from his daughters, Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice. As the king is well aware, the optics of the disgraced royal staying in the property is unhelpful to the monarchy's image, said Fitzwilliams. Given the way he looks at the world, it is unsurprising that Prince Andrew is resisting pressure to leave. But under the terms of his 75-year lease, he has the right to stay if essential maintenance is carried out. This has been a brutal year for the royal family, said Fitzwilliams. Beatrice and Eugenie have been supportive. Sarah Ferguson was invited last year to Sandringham for Christmas. The king won't want further problems. Contrary to reason, Andrew may stay. Chard claimed that there is no love lost between the brothers, as Andrew is determined to stay put. King Charles wants Prince Andrew to voluntarily sort out his current situation to avoid any future upset, she claimed. Although Andrew may have struck up a legitimate deal to stay in Royal Lodge for the moment, how long will this last? He will have to find millions each year. Downsizing to a lovely property, such as Frogmore Cottage, could save Andrew embarrassment in years to come. According to the Sunday Times, the king would have covered his brother's living expenses if he moved into Frogmore Cottage, the former UK home of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. After Andrew reportedly refused to downsize, the king axed his allowance.